Okay, hey, what's up? I'm making a quick video I say quick, I don't know. I'm making a video about breaking down Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. And I'm wondering if maybe we can understand it together. So I'll start with how I break down the verse. So first, Proverbs 1:7. It's written in Hebrew. So it helps me to think through what the meaning of it is. So we have Yirat Yahweh, Reshit, Da'at, and then, so Yirat Yahweh, Reshit, Da'at, Chochma Umusar, Evilim Bazu. So Chochma, which is just wisdom, Chochma. Actually, what I should do is create some space so that maybe I can make a web of things on the second line, or let's see, you guys can see that. So I'll bring it a little bit lower here. Chochma. I think in a future video, what I can do is I can just already have this done and on the board, because most people aren't reading Hebrew, so it's kind of a waste of your time, so I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay. Yirat Yahweh Reshit Da'at, Chochma Umisara Edilim Bazu. Okay, so we have Yirat Yahweh, and right here it's a construct, and it's feminine, so it takes the tav, so it means it's a construct, and it's constructed with this right here. So there's a construction between fear and Yahweh. The fear of who? The fear of Yah, fear of Yahweh. Okay, so Yirat Yahweh, fear of Yahweh. Okay, it says Reshit Da'at. So Reshit means the head, the kind of entryway, and obviously the beginning, right at the head of the thing. In Hebrew, it's you would say at the head of the thing, at the start of the thing. We kind of do this. We do a similar thing in English to a degree. So it's the beginning. So the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of Da'at, knowledge, and knowledge has. Remember, knowledge is not just propositional knowledge for them. It's not just like stuff you know in your head. It's also kind of intimate, experiential knowledge. So like Adam knew Eve, a man knows his wife. So Yirat Yahweh Reshit Da'at, the fear of Yahweh is the head or beginning of knowledge, or entryway, the starting point, you could say, of knowledge. And starting point seems kind of nice to me. I like the idea of starting point. Starting point. Okay, so Yirat Yahweh Reshit Da'at. The fear of Yahweh is the starting point of knowledge. Okay, and then what you're often going to see in Proverbs, you have two clauses or two lines, two clauses, two ideas. And the ideas are they typically parallel each other. So sometimes they'll repeat each other, and some types of parallelism are actually antithetical. They're oppositional. They parallel each other. They share the same idea, but from the exact opposite standpoint. They come against each other. That would be how Proverbs 1:7 works. So the first Proverbs 1:7. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, and then it does the kind of antithetical relationship, the reverse, chochma, which is wisdom. Chochma, wisdom. which often is associated with skill, navigability, often navigating abstractions, navigating things like relationships, navigating conflict, navigating danger, navigating difficulty, but it's skill, chokhmah, wisdom. And then musar. Now, I don't know why, so the updated NIV says instruction, it translates musar as instruction, and then the LEB, which Arab Church uses, says instruction as well, but musar isn't typically instruction. It can be translated instruction, so I'm not entirely opposed to them saying instruction, but it's actually wisdom and discipline. And discipline doesn't necessarily always mean a rod, but it is painful. And it really, musar is like a prescribed preparatory posture. A prescribed preparatory posture. Discipline. It can be instruct, so like Isaiah, it'll say Yahweh instructs farmers how to do what they do. But really, he prescribes preparatory posture in order for them to be able to plant. Yeah, it's hard, it's arduous. This keys in with the idea in Hebrews that no discipline is pleasant, but rather painful at the time, but it produces a harvest of righteousness and creates joy for those who endure it. And in that sense, it's musar. The same word is used in 118, Psalm 118 in the Messianic sense, where it's actually used in an intensive construction, where it says, the speaker seems to be Yeshua in its prophetic fulfillment in Psalm 118. He says, "You discipline me severely, or to the point of death." And the idea is, there is this idea of you prescribe this preparatory posture for me to adopt or to take. So it's not punishment, and because fathers do it to their sons, and it doesn't require for you to screw up. Notice how it says wisdom and discipline. Fools, so this part's fools despise. But discipline isn't that you've messed up. It doesn't require for you to fail morally or to make a mistake in order for you to be disciplined. And we get this kind of idea in English, the idea that a young man, it's a good decision for him to, or some people would say that for certain young men, it can be a good decision for them to join the army, for example, and go through boot camp and have a drill sergeant. And they don't need to mess up to be drilled, and to have it drilled into them, and that's actually probably a good way to get kind of what musar is saying, because musar often does have this element of correcting or beating sometimes, and so drilled into. So wisdom and being drilled into evilim. Evilim are fools, and so let's see here. So Evilim, fools, there's some, let's see, it comes from, let me take a look at that right there. I want to see the word. Evilim, I want to take a look at that. Where does it come from? Yeah, okay, so sorry, it's an unused root. I wanted to see the root, the radical that the Hebrew uses, but it comes from an unused root, probably meaning to be perverse. The fool is, it's funny because evil, I don't know if this is a false etymology or not. I don't want to make false etymology on a YouTube video because it spreads like wildfire, but evil is how you say a fool, and in English we say evil. Evil. So a fool, somebody who despises wisdom, who mocks when guilty. They have certain behaviors that are associated with them. They don't make a distinction. Would probably be one of the best technical ways to define a fool, someone who refuses to make these distinctions. They don't distinguish between safety and danger, right? They see danger coming and they just continue. But wisdom and having it drilled into them, wisdom and discipline, fools, okay? Those who refuse distinctions, perverse, and really morally perverse, mockers. And honestly, in an ancient Israelite setting, I think one of the biggest distinctions is a refusal to take seriously obligation. It's a refusal to take seriously obligation. Musar, Evelyn, Bazoo. Okay. Bazoo, it comes from a verb in Hebrew, booz, and it means to despise. Despise. This word has, so let me take a look here. Yeah, so the word means to have contempt, to despise utterly, to deem insignificant. So to hold in contempt, to hold as insignificant, to treat like it's a nothing. And that's a scary thing. So chokhmah, wisdom, and discipline, to treat them like they're nothing, to treat them as though they're insignificant. And so let's say the whole verse together. The fear of Yahweh is the starting point for intimate knowledge. Wisdom and drills, or moral drills, wisdom and discipline, fools despise. And the parallelism there is the right posture to take is in the first phrase, right posture, okay? And the wrong posture is this, to despise wisdom and discipline, to treat as insignificant. And think about that. Think about the relationship between despising a thing, treating it like a nothing, with contempt, treating it like a nothing, and then fear. Yirat Yahweh, Reshit Da'at. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of intimate knowledge. And often it's knowledge that is coveted, knowledge that is essential, knowledge that equips and helps. We can hear the word knowledge and think like an encyclopedia of just information that no one really knows how to apply. But Da'at has in view knowledge that aids you, knowledge that helps you. It's captured in the English idiom, if I had only known. If I had only known. And so it's knowledge, if I had only known it. Well, the fear of, if you want that kind of knowledge, so you're not regretting, that kind of knowledge starts with fearing Yahweh. And a little bit of instruction on fearing Yahweh. It does mean fear. It is the idea of fear or trembling or terror. But part of the reason why, Proverbs will explain in other places. You'll know this partly because it'll call Yahweh the Holy One. Often it'll talk about Yahweh's holiness, Yahweh's role, and his role of maintaining the cosmos. That's where the fear would come from, is this idea that Yahweh is clean, that he is holy. And if you are honest with yourself, you are not clean. And I don't mean, how do you say this? I don't mean, oh no, you're morally dirty and so you should fear. We hurt each other. The word for evil or the word for harm is the same word for evil. The word for harm is the same word for evil. So we harm ourselves and we harm others. If Yahweh is in the role of maintaining the cosmos and ensuring that justice is served and ensuring that harmers are stopped, and you know that you are a harmer, then the first step in policing yourself will be to say, Yahweh is a holy and righteous judge, a king. He rightly sits in that seat, and I don't want to fall on the wrong side of his holiness. So fearing Yahweh is directly correlated to knowing you are a harmer. You are a harmer. And to the degree that you have harmful tendencies in you, and he is a protector of his world, and he's a protector of his good creation, then you can expect that if you force Yahweh to choose between you being elevated up and up and up and up, while you insist on hurting his creation, humans, people, the world, then that's not a safe bet. You will be brought down. I mean, we literally have volumes in in the Tanakh and in the scriptures about how Yahweh brings down the arrogant, brings down harmers, and brings down fools, and exalts the humble and exalts the wise and puts them in a position of safety. So, fear. The fear of Yahweh is directly related to this idea that Yahweh is that the entire cosmos is his protectorate, and he's its king, and he's its overseer, its maintainer, and its judge. And I mean judge in an ancient sense, not like a guy with a wig who reads a really weird body of litigation and then tries to come to some. I mean a judge who literally seeks to ensure that a party is actually declared righteous and the evil one is declared evil, and people are rescued. In ancient times, judges who traveled on a circuit would be thought of as rescuers from oppression. So we are oppressors at heart. We are harmers at heart. Therefore, the first step to gaining this kind of knowledge is to fear Yahweh, to recognize to look into the depths of our heart and realize just how easy it is for us to actually be a harmer and fall alongside of his holiness. So wisdom, its first step, its entry point, its starting point is fear. I could probably expand on that a little bit more, but I'm not going to right now. So, bless you guys. Proverbs 1:7. The fear of Yahweh is the starting point of knowledge. Wisdom and discipline fools despise. They treat it as insignificant. All right, bless you guys.